Hi everyone, and welcome to my video about toners and different colors you would put into your hair after you have foiled or highlighted it. You might want to watch the video on how to actually foil your hair first. There's two parts to it, and you just click here, then it will get you to those foiling videos first, which is important to know before you check in the color. Unless you have been to a hairdresser and you're not happy with the color result and it looks really yellow, really brassy or orange even, and you want to put a toner in it to get rid of that yellow or orange or cancel it out. This is the video then. I will also show you how to put really cool crazy colors in your hair, like a really bright red and a let's say blue for example, so stay tuned.
So before I start toning anything, we're going to have to go through a little bit of color theory. I know it's quite boring probably, but the more you know, the easier it'll be for you in the future to pick the right toner for your hair color. So what are toners? Toners are used to cancel out any yellow or brightness or orange, like you can see in this picture here, of pre-lightened or bleached hair. You can use permanent or semi-permanent colors. I personally use semis because if you put a permanent color on already lightened hair, it's going to be quite damaging to the hair actually. If you have really dark hair that you want to lighten, or even if you have really dark colored hair, that's even harder, you probably end up with quite orange hair or yellow hair. If your hair is towards the medium or lighter end, naturally or colored, and you lighten your hair then you'll probably end up with an even better result, which is going to be something that you mightn't even need to tone. But yeah, if you're towards dark medium and you lighten it then you probably will need a toner to counteract that brassiness, that really yucky orange or yellow brassy sort of color that we don't want. We want to have a nice clean blonde or a nice sort of neutral brown. Now for the toning process, it's important to know that the hair is classified into different levels in hair coloring, ranging from level 1, which is the darkest black you can imagine, to level 10, which is the lightest blonde. So if you want to lighten your hair from a black, your natural hair color is a black, or your hair is colored, it doesn't matter. If you have level 1, like really dark black hair, and you want to lighten it to a really light blonde, let's say level 8, the light blonde, then you will never get there just in one go. You will need a toner. And this is because hair has underlying pigments, and black hair has a red underlying pigment. Okay, so I hope that doesn't get too confusing, but I'll explain it as good as I can. We all know, or I hope so anyway, that hair is made up of melanin, and if you lighten the hair, you actually change the melanin. You remove it or you diffuse it. So as the melanin changes when you lighten the hair actually goes through different stages or degrees of lightening or discolorization. And those degrees are obviously those 10 levels that I've described earlier. So the hair goes through those 10 stages the more you lighten it basically. And the main degrees to look for are like a red orange, orange, yellow orange or gold, a yellow and a pale yellow. And obviously the palest yellow. But never ever lighten your hair so much that it is white, because that will be so extremely damaging unless you are very blonde, like naturally blonde. Then you can lighten it obviously to a nice white without damaging the hair. But never ever do this if you have black hair. Also, if the hair is over lightened, a toner may make the hair appear really ashy, grey or really cool, since all the warm colors are missing. So a toner will totally overtone the hair and it will look ridiculous. Okay, now we're finally getting to the whole explanation of how you can now choose the right toner for your lightened hair. So this is the color wheel, which consists of warm colors, which are on the right hand side, and cool colors, which are on the left hand side. Now you can see yellow, green and red, violet there, and they can pretty much be considered either warm or cool, and it really depends on whether there's more pigment from the cool side or the warm side from the color wheel. Now the most important thing now to know is that colors that are found opposite one another on the color wheel are referred to as the complementary colors. And in hair color theory, they actually neutralize or cancel out one another when they are mixed together. So this is really important to know, because complementary colors are often used to neutralize unwanted tones, which are called toners. For instance, in hair coloring obviously, So if you would apply a blue-based color, that would eliminate unwanted brassiness or orange tones. If you have, let's say, a yellow, which is up the very top, you would use the one opposite on the color wheel to cancel out that yellow, so you get rid of the brassiness. So all in all, mixing colors found opposite one another on the color wheel produce actually neutral colors such as brown, or if you're wanting to go further into the light colors, they will just cancel out the brassiness.
Okay, here we've got something that is sort of an orange yellow, but a little bit more orange than yellow. So what I'm going to use on here is actually I'm wanting to create a nice clean brown, a light brown without any brassiness. And so I'm going to use this color here, which is a medium ash blonde. And this is what it looks like. Don't be scared by what the colors look like when you put them on, because the result is what counts. So if we go back to the color wheel,
we can see that these colors are opposite each other. So the orange is opposite the sort of bluey green, and that's what we want to use. We want to use something complementary to neutralize the other color, basically. So if you use something that has a little bit of that in it, you will end up with a nice clean, very neutral brown. One thing also to remember is that the swatches I'm showing you and the numbers that are on it, they are different from company to company. I'm using the Weller colors and I know them by heart. So with every company though in the world, the same is on the left hand side, which is the level. So the number that is written on the left hand side is the level of the hair. In this case, it's a light blonde, or the undertone would be a yellow, as we've learned earlier. The numbers on the right hand side though, they stand for the toner. So in this case, it's a pearl silver. So every company has a different numbering system for the different toners. So just be aware of that, so you don't chuck something in your hair and it ends up being blue instead of, I don't know,
now
green.
just apply the color to this. Unless your hair is completely damaged and really light, I would recommend you follow the manufacturer's instructions on how long you want to leave it on. I always do visual timing. That means I always check in between how the color's going, and then I just rinse it when I think that it's ready. If you have a full head of foils and you want to have one color all over, then obviously you don't need to place these in foils again. You just put a toner all over your hair and then just check from there. But I'm just doing it in sections now. So I'm going to be checking this again in about 15 to 20 minutes, because this is a pretty clear result to me later on, because it's not too light and it can't overtone easily. See how this is now a really nice light brown, and it doesn't have any orange or yellow to it anymore. So this is a really nice true yellow, as you can see. There's no orange to it. So if we go to the color chart, to the color wheel here, you can see that the yellow is opposite this blue violet here. So what you want to put on it to counteract this yellow is something that has a little bit of that in it.